Okay, we're going to do a little video tour of Nordamatic Explorer tonight. It is a game that will elude most people because, as far as I know, there are only two in existence. Well, I imagine there's more, but all I know is that there's another guy in Italy that has one in an Italian pinball museum. Just going to power off my dehumidifier because it's making noise. Yeah, so this one and one in Italy are the only ones that I know of. And what we're going to do is take a closer look at what the heck is Nordamatic Explorer. So let's see if I can swing this. Cool, I've never done that before. That works very well. Okay, so maybe I'll go full screen here. So this is what the Internet Pinball Database has for information on the game. That's 1976, one player. I'll go in a little closer here. It's electromechanical, Add-A-Ball, space exploration, and what you first might notice is that it looks kind of familiar. Well, this is because, check this out, Pioneer is what the art was based off of. And so Pioneer, you've got a couple of Americans there, lots of red, white, and blue action. And then you got a band here playing. So it's very American, of course. But Pioneer is made in Italy, and the artist made everybody just a little more Italian looking. All right? Even if you look close at the band members, maybe not in this photo, I'll show you the real thing. But, and then there are some other art differences, like this is, you know, like an airplane and a rocket going on over there. And then in Pioneer, so you got a rocket kind of going this way. There's another little plane there. You got this satellite guy, but where's, yeah, so it's a little more basic actually. A lot of kind of just empty space there, but the art was definitely based off of Pioneer. But take a look here. This is the Pioneer Playfield. We'll zoom in. And you also will think that Nordamatic is the same playfield at first glance, but Nordamatic is pretty much, I mean, Explorer is pretty much the bottom half is identical. But up here you've got like a saucer here, drop targets. Basically the whole upper half is completely different, and I'll show you that right here. So this is the Explorer playfield. So you can see the bottom's very similar, but once you get up to the top, it's a completely different layout. So you got a saucer here, only two pop bumpers, a lane here, and then you got your kind of Centigrade 37 style switch zone over here. Okay, so that is that. Let's go look at the actual machine. And we will maybe zoom out a little bit for this. Okay, so this is it. First thing you notice is probably that the O in Explorer kind of looks like a backwards G, so it's not all that appealing to the eye. It's like Explorer. But let's just take a look at the art. It's also very red, white, and blue. What does the Pioneer side art look like again? Let's compare that. Pioneer side art. Okay, so it's very similar. But you know, less of the surface was covered in paint, basically. And then the front, here we go. So one thing you notice about the front is that there's two holes here where coin mechs would have been, and there's a little button at the front that starts the game. So this is a very barren coin door. Now, what I have gathered from my research and just studies is that in Italy it was, you know, very, and in a lot of other places, illegal to have pinball machines, and their bylaws are very sensitive about free game, extra ball, free, you know, all that kind of stuff. So this, I believe, No Coin Mex was basically trying to abide by the bylaws, and that this start switch basically was added to the middle, and therefore you didn't have to pay, maybe? No, well, you couldn't have paid to start a game, so maybe that also helped to conform to the bylaws. So I think this is all probably done in Italy, original. I think it's all original. I don't think this is something that was done after the fact. And even the key hook is here for your Backbox key. So also, there was something going on with the coin inserts too. I forget exactly. I don't know if they were missing or they were blacked out or something, but I replaced the coin inserts so that it was all nice and happy again. Okay, so moving on to the right hand side, same thing, just a mirror image of the other side basically. And then here's what I was telling you about the art. Was just you know, some of the subtle differences. You can see better here. Maybe it's time to turn on my flash. Here we go. So the characters are the same, the faces are different, and even down to the band there. Like, you know, we got a dude with a mustache there, and looks like a little goatee there. Some curly cues over the ears on that guy. I don't think the Pioneer guys look like that. And then there's the Nordamatic logo. Pretty cool. Then we'll check out the playfield. Okay, so we'll start from the top, I guess. There's the Explorer. This is a really nice playfield. They use some pretty good chemicals to clear coat their playfields, I think, back in these days. So all these European playfields really held up well. And surprisingly, all the plastics are in good shape too. I believe pretty much everything here to be original from when it was made in 1976. So yeah, we'll go over the rules, but you'll see change value here. Remind me to tell you about that. I'm sure I'll remember. Note how they spelt mystery here. This is super special. What else do we got? So, all lit equals wow. So then we got indicator for credits. The apron has the Nordamatic logo printed on it there, Verona, Italy, and even a telephone number for the company. Shooter gauge. And yeah, so like I said, this is reminiscent of like a centigrade 37. I call it sort of the waterfall zone. Nothing else really to note. Nordamatic in the middle. It's all pretty Gottlieb-ish, right? Okay, let's take a look around the back. I am missing the back door, but maybe I should have moved it a little more forward. So it's got the decagon score reels. I think this is the first game I've ever had that had the actual, they're not perfectly circle, they're, you know, they're kind of slanted edges. So those are pretty cool. But look, it says Gottlieb right here. Everything is pretty much Gottlieb parts. And we do have, let's see, let's just take a, this is a little mini stepper. I believe this is probably two things. Probably for alternating the lights and also for the millions unit. Well, yeah, there's millions there. So like if you roll the game, then one lights up for you have 1 million in the bank and etc. It goes up to, I believe, 10 million. Actually, let me show you that, because it's pretty cool. Try and do this very gently, one-handed. Okay. Here's, I guess, yeah, you can't really see that on the front without all them being lit. But yeah, you can get, there's millions. You can get up to 9 million. Nope, there's the 10 right there. There's your tilt. But you can see the back glass is actually pretty darn good shape too. So let's put that back. Okay. So here's the paperwork. Light box control card. This is millions unit. Then here, this took me a bit to figure out. This information represents this. To give you some options here, right? So you got add-a-ball adjustment and you got BIRI BIRI selection. It took me forever to figure out what BIRI BIRI was, but it is pretty much what it sounds like. I'll get to that shortly, but you'll see that the adjustments show that there's adjustments on this side and adjustments on this side. But if you look at the actual adjustment here, it says point score adjustment millions. There's only one row of adjustments. So you've got your points here, and that is, oh, what is that again? Like millions. How many millions you need to get before you get an add-a-ball, I believe, if I recall correctly. And then the BIRI BIRI we'll put at 4 million. And we'll talk about that after. This Nordamatic play adjustment, points play or add-a-ball play. So yeah, okay, I have messed with this. I put it to add-a-ball play, so we can add balls. And then we have here, you can see this adjustment. There's a switch here, inclusa and exclusa. So this is S-O-U-N, put a D on there and go include sound, not exclude sound. That's what that ends up being. And that's this switch here. And that controls whether you have chimes or not. So it was handy to have that while play testing the machine and working on the machine. One thing I just noticed is this screw is out a bit, and it would be much happier if both these screws get screwed in. So just notice that. I don't know exactly what is going on here. Let me get my fingers out of the way. I really gotta just put this on a tripod. This is awkward. Okay. This switch is the switch in this photo, but it doesn't reach there anymore. And that was a bit of a mystery to me. Because you can see there's a hole here and a hole here where screws would have gone through here, and that switch would have been right screwed onto there, I believe. Somehow it lost some wires, and there's some stuff going on here. Now, what I do understand is that BIRI BIRI is a feature, an electronic sound feature, that some Italian companies would add into their games as sort of an upgrade. So I'm wondering if this used to have that feature, the little soundboard, and then it was removed and tied into the chimes, or back into the chimes. So let me show you what I mean. So, BIRI BIRI. Let's go over here. Okay. Where do I have it? Right here. So, this is an Internet Pinball Database, glossary of terms. Turn my flash off. So, BIRI BIRI is a repetitive electronic tune indicating that the player had reached a high score. This is a feature found in some Italian-made pinball machines of the 1970s. Some Italian manufacturers during the 70s installed electronic sound devices in their games to replace the standard metal bells. Older games could also be retrofitted with these devices. The electronic sounds they admitted were rudimentary in comparison to today's capabilities and might be described as monophonic. These devices, while acting in place of bells, could also be made to emit a tune at achieving a high score. And you noted I put that high score at 4 million over there. And this tune was called the BIRI BIRI sound. No obvious award was necessarily tied to getting a machine to produce this sound, but the location might give a free drink to the player. And that says, listen to the BIRI BIRI sound. Visit this page here, which I have already opened here. So, and this shows like a card for one of the games. And if you see right down here, BIRI BIRI, I can't read Italian, but here is a photo of what that soundboard would have looked like. And then if we click over here, BIRI BIRI, that's the sound of the BIRI BIRI. Not all that exciting, is it? So right now, instead of electronic sounds, my BIRI BIRI is tied into the chimes. I don't understand why the wiring is not the, like kind of been tampered with. So I don't know if one was added and then removed and then lost some wire in the process, so the switch doesn't fit where it used to go. That's about the only thing I can think of. What is all together now? What is he? Okay. Is that all the different sounds that this thing can make, maybe? Wow sound. Oh, that's wow. Wow. Primo. Okay, that's pretty bad. Secondo, suno. Terzo, sa uno. And then quattro, sa uno. Interesting. I don't know what su uno means. Is that sound? Or is it like million? 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million? Maybe. Anyway, so that's what the BIRI BIRI is all about. But I'll show you what mine sounds like shortly. Let's just make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, we haven't looked under the hood yet. So give me one moment and I will pop up the hood and we'll show you a tour of the inside. Okay, so I've got the Playfield propped up, and let's take a look. We got some information there, playboard control card. Now it looks like it's been signed off by Rolulo. And again, we've got Gottlieb parts throughout. Pretty standard stuff going on. Oh, this unit here, frames unit. What did that do again? Frames. I kind of forget what this unit did. I know you cleaned it. I could manually activate it to find out for sure, but I'm just forgetting what that is at the moment. There's a little bank of resistors there. Took me a long time to realize that resistor that I replaced there was the reason why this light was not illuminating. Messed with the socket and bulb and tried to find whatever relay switch was responsible to illuminate that. Yeah, so I think one thing I forgot to mention was, first of all, the fact of resistors. Like, they're not typically in lamp circuits, are they? But let's go around to the back again, and you'll notice, I think this is part of the equation as well. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there, look, capacitor on the millions unit. And somewhere else is a capacitor. Now I'm guessing that between these capacitors and resistors is the reason why when you hit the pop bumper, remember I said in the pop bumper, it says change value. So if you hit a pop bumper, when these are ready, it will change to one of the three, but it's not sequential, it's random. And I believe it's because the capacitor holds various different amounts of charges to allow for that to be a miscellaneous and random rather than deterministic. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably way wrong on so much of this, but it's random, and I believe capacitor is part of the reason. But enlighten me if it's not. Here is the bottom board, and it's all pretty standard stuff. Just Gottlieb stuff, you know. It says Gottlieb on this score motor. We got our, 220 Italian plug there, service plug, and then the relays are credit relay, ball return, pilot relay, delay relay, start, wow relay, hold relay, tilt relay, aftered relay. Now I don't know if you can see that one, but there's one called aftered relay, 5,000 point relay, reset relay, tilt relay. Then you got a couple connectors back there, and your transformer to connect those two. Connect the Playfield to the bottom board. And look, there's Paolo. I wonder if that's the guy who signed off on the other card. But we also have a, look at this, Diao 76. Not sure how to say that, but there's a few different names on this. And I think these, man, I should have went over all this, but I kind of forget what these guys do. I feel like they are pop bumper relays. One is like for points, one is for lights, one is for activating the solenoids, probably 3 switches on each, if I recall correctly. And then, yeah, so we got our standard chimes, our knocker, and all your standard tilt max count for the total number of games is at, what is that? I gotta go down further. 11,393. That could be true because this machine is in nice condition overall, so I wouldn't be surprised if it really did only get 11,000 plays in its life, which is not that far off from how many games we played on my Tron Pro and LE combined, so it's feasible. Okay, so I think what I will do now is probably end this video. I think I've covered everything I want to cover for the most part. And the next video I take is going to have to be horizontal, because I'm going to go over the gameplay and the rules. And I can't seem to figure out how to put a vertical video and a horizontal video in the same video without one of them being really hard to look at. So I think that is going to be about it for this tour of Nordamatic Explorer. So if you're interested in checking out the rules and gameplay, that'll be next. So thanks for watching.